won't back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The Northwest Truck Series and Season 11 rolls on. We're ready to go tonight at the virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway in the daytime in Gateway, Illinois, just outside of the Golden Arches, of course, of St. Louis. And it is the site of the Enjoy Illinois 175 miles, 140 laps. The next round of the Northwest Racing Series trucks tonight. Round 8, iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside. Charles Wooten is pushing the buttons on the production in the truck down in Wichita Falls, Texas. And of course, my buddy in New Jersey. I'm in North Carolina. Drivers all over the Northwest Pacific ready to go, Jason, and we're ready to see what this race will provide here tonight in the daytime at Gateway. Good evening.
Good evening, man. It's not like we didn't just talk to each other the last 2 hours
Yeah,
for FTSR,
exactly.
But for some of us joining us from the Northwest side, we welcome you obviously back here. And Gateway's a really interesting track here, Wesley. It's probably, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people kind of glaze over it, and they don't really think about it. But if you really want to be real, coming from a sim racing driver standpoint, this track is very, very technical because you have two totally different ends of the racetrack that are completely different. Turns 1 and 2, it narrows up. It's higher banking. You got to downshift sometimes, depending on how these guys run this racetrack tonight. And then turns 3 and 4, 2 degrees less of banking, but it's wider. If you really want to think about this, and it's funny because I think I said this last year for this race, this is like a technical mini version of Darlington, kind of short track style, just sitting a little over 1.25 miles. This is a very unique, interesting racetrack. I'm so happy that it got put on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule a couple years back. This track has always provided some great racing. We saw a caution-filled race last year. Hopefully we don't have the same tonight. Ryan Bloom won the pole last year. And Dan West Jr., he led the most laps. He could be somebody to look out for here tonight. But Dennis Moore is the defending Gateway winner from just 1 year ago. And Dennis Moore is actually yet to find victory lane. Remember back at Texas a few weeks ago, he was looking for that win before him and Sean Brightsman got together coming to the white flag and let Toby Ritters win his first race in nearly 2 years. So this is going to be a very, very interesting race tonight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Let's take a look at the race analysis information presented by HuntTheFront.tv. No fast repair for this series. That's something that's been changed this year than previous seasons. A lot of people like it. I like it. 100% fuel capacity, unlimited amounts of tires, 3 attempts at overtime if need be. As I mentioned, 140 laps, 175 miles. The distance for the Enjoy Illinois 175. Worldwide Technology Raceway measures in Madison, Illinois at 1.25 miles. Again, as Jason mentioned, it's very cattywampus with the differences of configuration. Turns 1 and 2 banked at 11 degrees. Turns 3 and 4, 9 degrees. Again, a very unique racetrack, more flat surface than what you see in other previous iRacing broadcasts we do with banking. So going to be fun to watch. Obviously, the front straightaway measures at 1,922 feet, the backstretch at 1,976 feet. Let's take a look at the weather conditions leading up to this event. And obviously, you see it says partly cloudy at night, but it's not a nighttime race. It's a daytime event. There you go. Partly cloudy in the sun and the clouds is out. There you go. Well, technically in the real world is a full moon outside, really, in the world of North Carolina, probably and everywhere else. So air temp is 80 degrees. There's a wind speed blowing between 7 to 8 miles an hour, and the track temp is about maybe 8-9 degrees. Then the air temp for track temp right now at 87. So we'll see what happens. And once this driver's meeting concludes, Jason, they're going to get on the racetrack and get to qualifying here.
Yeah, and qualifying is starting to wrap up. Actually, coming
Oh,
up
we
pretty
missed it.
soon here.
Okay.
We only have 8.5 minutes remaining in the session. But at the time being, Dan West Jr., the man who led the most laps just 1 year ago here at Gateway, he has the fastest time with a 32.939. Son Devin West, 33.002. So both father and son for the West family looking to be very, very strong here tonight. And a driver I have not seen yet from my time here, Peter Murphy Jr., third quickest up on the board right now, about 0.3 of a second back in qualifying. But he's really, really fast. He very well could come out here tonight and steal one of these wins away from these guys that we're so, used to knowing and seeing dominate, the circuit here in the Northwest.
And Jason, how about the prodigy, the driver, of course, that is Ryan Gormley? He has the points lead over Toby Ritters. It is 17 points between Gormley and Ritters for the championship before the playoffs reset everything. Sean Breitzman is 20 points back in third. 24 points back is Brian Barnes, former Cup Series champion of the Northwest, in the top four. Troy Daggett is right now fifth, 29 back. And you also mentioned guys like Jeff Stabnow, the Daytona winner, Tyler King, Paul Newton, Devin West, defending series champion, and obviously Frank Harris, Jason. The top 10 only separated by 66 points going into round 8 tonight here at Gateway.
Yeah, the points have really tightened up a little bit here over the last few weeks. I mean, you look at everybody that's pretty much inside of this top 10. They're only separated by 66 points from Ryan Gormley back to Frank Harris. And I know we're only 7 races deep, about to be 8 tonight. But still, a lot of opportunities for a lot of drivers. Qualifying now officially wrapping up here. They've advanced the session to the race. So it could be interesting. Ryan Gormley, if he wants to keep this point lead, he's going to have to hold off a lot of guys who are really, really strong here, like the Wests, Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, who's always so fast. Here's the pole sitter 1 year ago. Not tonight, but he'll be fast as well.
Well, nonetheless, let's go racing here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. In the starting lineup, the fast man, Walla Walla, Washington, Kevin Smith. It's been kind of a dim year for the 00. Could he pull a hat trick tonight? Pull the wild card, if you will, a rabbit out of a hat and get to victory lane. Dan West Jr. alongside row number 1. That's Win Racing and Team LSRTV. Devin West, Peter Murphy Jr. making up row number 2. Dennis Moore, Sean Breitzman, row 3. Jordan Person and Troy Daggett, the 20 and the 99, make up row 4. Ryan Bloom and Clifford Toby Ritters, top 10 at Gateway.
Top 20, row number 6, you'll find Brian Barnes alongside Brett Johnson, number 7 machine. Row number 7, you will find Troy Allen, 49, alongside Chase Carrillo in the 81 to the outside. Row number 8, you will find Gary Nichols in the number 8 machine and alongside Dan Wilder on the outside. 63, row number 9, Roy Grande and Carl Burt. Rounding out the top 20, row number 10, you will find Christopher White and Stephen Paulson in the 58.
Moving on to row 11, Chris Kynes, John Ottenbacher. Row 12, Robert Campbell and Bryce Clark. Row 13 will find Jeff Stabnow mired in the back in qualifying along with the Catman of James Viney. Row 14, BJ Titrick and Stephen O'Hare. Top 30 will find Frank Harris as well as William Fletcher. 30 drivers right there. Moving on to the next row, Jason.
Yeah, you got Ray Fournier right there in the 26 and Scott Hutchinson in the number 91 machine. And then rounding out the field, looks like I don't believe he made an on-track attempt. So either he's going to start from the pits or he's just not going to make a lap tonight. That would be also, I believe, Stephen O'Hare in the number 41 machine. But yeah, this should be a really interesting race, Wesley. I'm interested to see. We got a stacked field of 32 drivers. Hopefully Kevin Smith can hang out front. We've seen this man start from the pole plenty of times, and then we've seen him lose the race lead in a handful of ways, in every which way possible. Hopefully the number 00 machine can stay up front tonight.
We'll definitely watch it and see what happens here as these guys get ready to finish up their preliminary warm-up lap before they turn them loose. 175 miles, 140 laps the distance on the 1.25 Worldwide Technology Raceway. Hey, by the way, don't forget, next Monday night we will be taking off for Memorial Day. Series will be off. And right now we're ready to get it started. Here comes Smith and West, front row, working to the Geico restart zone, ready to come to the firebox. 30 virtual warlords ready to bring their trucks to speed, underway here at Gateway. It is Smith on the inside. He'll get the jump on West. Sun West watches on. That goes on into turn 1 and 2 on the opening go.
Everybody filing out. Oh no, Kevin Smith, what a move to the back bumper of Dan West Jr. Didn't give him the bumper once, gave it about 2 or 3 more times. And Dan West Jr. was able to save it, but Devin comes in there, nearly gets into the back of the 00. Everybody really trying to hang on for grip here around 3 and 4. And you see Dennis Moore, he nearly caught the back bumper of the 5 machine. Battle for the race lead, though, as West Jr. leads the first lap.
Give it to Kevin Smith. Going to get back around Dan West Jr., father and son West family is, whoa, Dennis Moore, hold on. Dirt tracks it a little bit off the corner, and they stack them up 4 wide behind them. Brightsman on the clear to the bottom. So is also King. They file their way down to the corner. That's Person actually in the 20.
I talked about it, Wesley, before we started tonight's race and how technical this race was. We've already seen a lot of beating and banging and guys getting sideways here off these couple corners, whether it be off 4 and off turn number 2. This is a very, very tricky racetrack to get around here, especially in the truck. And you gotta be careful to not make sure you're getting into anybody or anything, though. Everybody's starting to simmer down for the time being, though, here on lap number 3 with Kevin Smith pulled away from about 1/4 of a second over DWJ in the 55.
Watching these guys work their way back around the racetrack, down the front straightaway. All the while, it is still Kevin Smith, the man up in front. Look at that now, this battle going on for position in the back here. The 81, the 89, right behind one another. This is Carrillo and Audenbacher trying to get around Grande, and boy, they're really fighting the truck loose off the corner out of 2.
Yeah, really fighting these trucks loose here because this is just the product of Gateway. You can get really, really loose off turn 4 because of how fast you're going through that corner, but also off turn number 2, if you're downshifting and trying to upshift, getting back to the throttle, you see a lot of guys having issues here down the front straightaway. Roy Grande just got up into the wall, and John Ottbacher had to avoid him by going all the way down nearly to the pit wall there. But meanwhile, off turn number 2, you see Dennis Moore trying to pull away just a little bit over Troy Daggett in the number 99 machine. But, you know, turns 2, Wesley, that's probably going to be a big troublesome spot here for tonight's race. Lots of guys get loose off those corners trying to put the power down because it goes from that 11 degrees all the way to a flat surface, and it happens fairly quickly here. So these guys are going to have to race the racetrack and be mindful of others and also how their trucks are handling here tonight.
Yeah, 30-plus trucks out here on the racetrack. Definitely got to have a lot of give and take here in the early going. As Person opens the door to the inside. Here comes Carl Burke now making a run on Roy Grande, trying to also climb in and get to the back tailgate of Carrillo's machine to the back straightaway. They're going after also the likes of these other guys in front of them, and all the while, nice stack up front of them. It's Allison. Hold on to it. They work their way off of 4.
Oh, man, you see John Ottbacher get really loose there again off turn number 4. Great job saving, and he'll tuck in line back behind Roy Grande as they head back to 1 and 2. Grande overshoots the corner big time, nearly ran into the back there of Allison into 1, and the 81 of Chase Carrillo able to get to the outside because the 49 gets loose. They're 2 wide now, back to 3.
Carrillo up the hill inside Allison. Give him plenty of room. Audenbacher trying to run back down. Grande up on the outside lane. Here comes his truck to the bottom. And there's contact. Oh, up under the wall just a moment ago. Went the 81 into the fence. He holds it together, but he's getting bypassed by everybody as they thunder down the straightaway, going back into turn 1. Here comes Stab now making a run down into the top 10. Or actually, it's top 20.
man. They are really loose off these corners. Great job by all these drivers to be able to hang on to these race trucks here tonight because it is really, really chaotic out here. These first 8 laps of the 140 being ran this evening here from Worldwide Technology Raceway. Good little battle going on here between Clifford and Bloom as they head back down into 1 and 2. Bloom will work down to the inside lane, try to get it woed up. He'll travel up the racetrack, gets into the door of Ritter's now through turn number 2. And off the corner, the 3 nearly hits the wall. Contact made again with Bloom.
Another nice save being made as they work the back straightaway. There's Ritter's on the outside. Bloom to the bottom. This is going on for the top 10 inside 8th and 9th spot, 7th and 8th. It's now working off the corner. Brightsman watching all this going on behind him as they thunder back to the front straightaway, working now another lap on the board, closing in on 10 in here in the early going at Worldwide. They're door to door again, going to 1 and 2. Oh, they rub off of one another.
Yeah, they make contact again, going through 1 and 2 there, and Ritter's nearly brushes the wall coming off 2. Bloom and him still side by side. You see the 3 of Ritter's working up to the outside again. And this outside can really pay off once you hit the center of the corner because you can get the truck pointed. But then off this corner, that inside lane really starts to kind of pay dividends. Lots of drivers battling all over this racetrack. You just see Chris Kynes nearly loses it off the corner with Jeff Stab now having to check up. Here comes Troy Ollison. They're going to be side by side now, back to 1.
Holding it together again up on the outside lane. There's Nichols' truck.
Oh,
he got
contact
and just got turned. Nowhere to go. That was, of course, the 11 of Roy Grande going around, fighting for that spot off that second turn. You know, Jason, we were watching multiple times, a lot of rough, well, not to say rough racing, but they were definitely a lot of moments where drivers are really loose off the corner. As we see a replay here, Chris Kynes in the 88 Diet Mountain Dew machine hits the left rear of the 11. Nichols on the outside. Another shot there that second time, and it sent the 11 around off 2.
I think right there, if we can take another look at the replay, I think the 11 was either going to get loose or he was starting to get tight, so he backed out of the throttle really, really quickly and got a little bit up on the brakes, and you're going to watch that truck all of a sudden from carrying the momentum side by side with Nichols to all of a sudden just slows down drastically in the split second. You know, in between that split second, the 88 of Chris Kynes just runs right into the back of him here. You see him going through the corner, no contact, all of a sudden the 11 just kind of stops, then all of a sudden the 88 machine just gets into the left rear of the 11. But no harm, no foul, not a lot of damage, but obviously going to be some tires probably being taken by that 11 machine, I could imagine. But too early to pit for a lot of these guys, so we don't have a lot of guys coming down to pit road this time. A couple, though, do come in, including Troy Daggett, Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow would like to come down to pit road. But Wesley, remember, these guys actually only have 3 sets of tires back behind the wall. So they're going to have to use them very sparingly and very, very, you know, they have to keep it in mind. You know, the fact that they have those 3 sets of tires. These tires can wear out very quickly here at Gateway, but you've got to use them sparingly. You've got to use them when you need them. Just too early to pit right now.
So the race information that said unlimited sets of tires is hashtag fake news?
Hashtag fake news from Charles Wooten.
Early going, it is, of course, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith right now is the man that's leading the charge currently. Obviously, got about 12 laps into this race. Caution laps do count in this race as well, by the way, so that's a good thing. So they're getting ready to put lap number 13 on the board, working lap number 14 around the racetrack this time by. Kevin Smith, Devin West, Dan West Jr. right now, the top 3. Peter Murphy Jr. Jason, how about Peter Murphy Jr.? This guy is only in his, 3rd or 4th start in the Northwest, and he's done really, really well.
Yeah, he's been doing really, really well, really all day long, you know, so far here tonight in this race. I mean, it's only 14 laps in, but yeah, he started 4th, but we saw how fast he was in practice. I expect big things out of Peter Murphy Jr. tonight. I think he's got a great truck. He's got a great number 18 machine there, beautiful paint scheme, that Toyota Tundra TRD machine. Look out, man. This guy very well could contend for this win tonight.
Yeah, Peter Murphy making his third start in the Northwest tonight here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Also, Dennis Moore in the top 5, counting that. Ryan Bloom, Toby Ritters, Jordan Person, Brett Johnson, Dan Lowther, top 10. As we get ready to rack them up, stack them up, bunch them up 2 by 2 by 2. Field comes into turn 4. Pace car drops back onto the pit lane. Here comes the virtual Thundering Herd back down to the line, all the way to the Geico restart zone. They'll fire it all the way at the box. Smith goes, green flag back out, and he's gone and off into turn number 1 of solo.
Yeah, you can see Kevin Smith got a great restart. And meanwhile, father and son, they're going to duke it out now side by side. Looks like this is a little bit more of a calmer restart here. And as I say that, everybody's still double wide back behind the race leaders. Dennis Moore battling side by side now with Peter Murphy Jr. back to turn number 3, and Moore will work down to the inside. Bloom closes up to the 18's rear bumper, gives him a little bit of a nudge there. They're all keeping it clean and green right now off turn 4.
Nice little save for those guys as they work their way back for the restart, back to the front straightaway, and Smith back out in front again. He leads West. That's father now got passed by son. Dan West Jr. watching along as Devin sets his sights behind them. Ritters and Bloom battle for 5th as that goes on into turn number 3. Kevin Smith to the bottom of the racetrack. There's a problem on the 00. Kevin Smith is on pit road.
Gosh. And how many times, Wesley, have we talked about this with the 00 having something go wrong? The guy started on the pole, and now he's going to be in pit lane. And maybe something going on, maybe a problem. Like you had mentioned, we'll keep an eye on that for sure, but that's a heartbreaker for the 00 after basically having the lead for his first 17 laps.
If it is, he's out of it, and that is heartbreak here in the early going, no doubt, as you just mentioned. Wow. We'll have to find a word. West, Moore, Murphy, Bloom, top 5. That's the way it stands right now. Look at Allison now battling with Nichols. This is going on to the top 15 as that goes into turn 1.
Whoa, big move right there by Troy Allison. He threw it down in there on the 53 of Carl Burke. Backed up the corner, tried to get down to the bottom, and chopped off the nose of the number 8 machine of Gary Nichols. That could have been a caution for sure, but they keep it going, and Allison moves up to 13th. He'll run the middle groove through 3 and 4. This time, one driver way up the track gets Chase Carrillo, who's going to lose several spots, getting passed by Sean Brightsman. Now about to get passed by B.J. Tidrick. Right behind him, the legend of Frank Harris moving his way up inside the top 20 there on 19th, while Peter Murphy Jr. starting to lose positions to the field here. As you see Dan Lowther get around him off too.
Back straightaway now, getting ready to put 20 laps on the board here in a couple of more moments. It's Stephen West now, the man that leads the way, trying to find a word of what happened with Kevin Smith in the 00. You know, Jason, I'm wondering if possibly it might have been the blinking issue again haunting the 00. We've seen that happen before. If you remember on that last restart, he kind of took off and was blinking a little bit. Somebody was, and then he popped back up into view. And I wonder if that might be what made him decide to park it.
Yeah, that could have been an issue for sure for the 00 machine. And looking right now at the at the scoring pylon, I mean, he's only 22 seconds back. He's back on track, so he's not out of this by any means of the imagination. The only two who did not start are William Fletcher and Stephen O'Hare. Scott Hutchinson, though, I believe he is 7 laps down on pit road, now make it 8. So he's your 30th place driver. Kevin Smith back on the racetrack, though. Hopefully he can rebound after a tough break. Interested to see what happened there to the 00.
And they'll get ready to work their way back down the racetrack. There's Sean Brightsman. Brightsman and Carl Burke having a battle amongst themselves. B.J. Tidrick, watching all this going on behind them in the top 15. All the while, we're 20 laps into it. Let's give you your top 10 right now. Devin West, the leader. Dan West Jr., second. Dennis Moore, third. Ryan Bloom, fourth. Toby Ritters, top 5. Dan Lowther up 10 spots in 6th. Peter Murphy Jr. losing 3 spots back to 7th. Jordan Person is 8th, up 13 spots. John Onnenbacher in 9th. Brian Barnes. Currently, Jason, is your top 10 as we're all kind of working single file again off of turn 4 back to the start-finish line.
Everybody kind of single filed out here for the first very, very handful of trucks, and then everybody back behind them. Some running double wide, some not, but everybody's kind of just riding in line right now. I think they're probably just trying to feel out their trucks, see how the tire wear is going. I honestly, I don't think Peter Murphy is having a hard time driving. I honestly, Wesley, think that Peter Murphy is saving his tires. I can't see this guy with how fast he was on short run speed both in practice and qualifying. I can't see this guy struggling with race pace. I think personally he's just saving the tires because this very well could come down to a strategy game here with these 140 laps we have here tonight. Already 101 cautions. Some guys elected to come down, some didn't. But, you know, only 3 sets behind the wall, so you've got to use them sparingly. As you see Lowther get loose off too.
Lowther up high, opens the door for that person entry down to the inside. Behind them is, of course, Murphy, Ottenbacher. Remember, Jason, you think of drivers for Team LSRTV. You've got Jeff Stabnow, Sean Breitzman, Devin West, Dan West Jr. They've all won races. Now they want to try to help John Ottenbacher and Brett Johnson, obviously, put them chances to get into the playoffs. You've still got plenty of time to do it. Right now, Ottenbacher is the strongest of all of them, currently in the 9th position on the racetrack.
Yeah, and the field just really spread out right now. Again, this is where you're going to start to see these guys have that tire degradation and wear, and start to see who your comers, who your goers are right now. I mean, we all know the Wests are fast. That's clear as day. They're fast week in and week out right now. They're running some of the fastest lap times on the racetrack. And remember, Devin won last week at Watkins Glen. Whoa, Lowther up and into the wall off turn number 2. Just got really wicked sideways. And everybody behind him had to at least check up or go to the bottom of him. And Lowther now having an issue with his connection. Lowther up the track. And oh, now we got one in the grass. That's the 54 machine there. All the way to the bottom through the grass, but able to save it back to 3.
And somehow, when all that went on, they held it together. Devin West right now on the racetrack, back straight away, holding their line, keeping it in tow. Ottenbacher up to 8th now. Murphy, there's Barnes. Johnson also, Jason, starting to climb into that mix as we watch these guys working off the corner, about ready to put lap number 27 on the board at the line.
Yeah, Brett Johnson is doing a fantastic job in that number 7 machine. We talked about how Team LSRTV wants to get their drivers into victory lane. Brett Johnson and also another teammate as well that they want to get to victory lane. They've had Jeff Stabnow. They've had Devin West and Dan West Jr. They've had Sean Breitzman, I believe. A lot of drivers who still want to come out here and win these races. You think about also somebody who hasn't won a race surprisingly yet this year. We talked about it earlier, Dennis Moore. Him and Sean Breitzman got together at the end of that Texas race, took Dennis Moore out of a shot to win, but we saw how aggressive he was being that race, and it ultimately led to his downfall. You can almost say it was karma coming for the 44 machine. He won here 1 year ago. Don't count him out yet. 29 laps already up on the board, but that 44 machine, if this race comes down to it, man, I'm telling you what, Dennis Moore might be a threat that you don't want to reckon with for sure.
Barnes on the inside, trying to battle with Murphy. Murphy gives him plenty of room up top as they work their way back off of 4, back to the line. 30 laps when they come back to the stripe completed. All the while, still Devin West out in front. This race is going on in the top 10 in the back as they go back into 2. And here comes now Johnson to the inside to get in the battle.
Brett Johnson moves up further inside the top 10, up to 9th. And there's Dan Lowther, the man who just hit the wall very hard off turn 2 a handful of laps ago. He's still recovered it back at 11th, about to get 10th here if he can get around Peter Murphy Jr., who's continuing to drop back. I thought it was going to be tire saving for this 18 machine. I mean, he might very well still be tire saving.
But if he is, man, this is an excessive amount of tire saving for the driver of the 18 machine. He's already 9 seconds back of the race leader. And when you're tire saving, Wesley, the one thing I learned, and it's funny because I've been on the service since 2021 in the beginning of the year. Oh, Dan Lowther, loose off 2, saves it there from the bumper of Sean Brightsman. But the thing is I learned this past week at Darlington last week. I ran a lot of C-fixed races, and one of the things I was told by my friend Kenny Brady is if you're going to tire save when you got nobody around you. Run, let the guys in front of you run away, let them burn up their stuff, but when you get somebody getting closer to you, don't just give it up. You want to race them hard because they'll race you hard. They can wear out some more tires. So maybe the 18 machine, just a little bit of excessive amount here of this tire savings, kind of maintained in that 10th position, but still falling back a little bit.
Murphy up the racetrack, and here comes now Sean Brightsman. Working to the bottom, trying to crack the top 10 if he can clear the 18. Working back off turn 4 to the line. 32 of 140 laps in the Enjoy Illinois. 175. There goes Murphy again up the track. Brightsman back to the inside. And while that goes on, you still got Lowther and Tidrick watching all this going on in the 3.
And here comes Tidrick down to the inside of Dan Lowther, entering turn number 3 in the Ultra Monster Energy colors. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. He might be able to clear him here off turn 4 if he could just rotate the truck properly, and he's not able to. Still side by side there. And here's another battle going on. Brett Johnson gains another spot, able to pass Brian Barnes in the number 4 machine. The Popsicle colors. Love seeing that machine out there every week. Could use me a popsicle right about now with the racing that we've had over the last few hours here on LSRTV. But Brett Johnson, man, he's doing a really good job in this 7 machine. You know, definitely some speed out of this 7 tonight. We're used to seeing Brett kind of run middle of the pack. He's definitely evolved a lot since last season where he joined the league and came in. And, oh, we got one off track. That's the 81 of Chase Carrillo. In the number 81 machine, they're able to save it. He falls all the way back to 27.
Nice save for that driver in the 81 machine, even though he lost a lot of positions, obviously.
Oh, we got one around Jeff Stabnow.
In trouble. Problems, turn 4. Jeff Stabnow goes around, spins, does not draw a caution. We still stay green. Daytona winner, Jeff Stabnow. Something happened along him and Troy Allison battling for position off turn 2, Jason. And there it is.
And, that's a hard hit. That's probably going to kill his race right there. And Wesley, it all started when he got side by side. Allison packed a lot of air on the door of that 24. And the thing is with these trucks, when you come to tracks like this where you're kind of maintaining throttle and you really got to make sure you don't get sideways off the corner. If you're a truck on the outside, you are an easy target to get wiped out. But you also can pack a lot of air on the left side of those trucks. When you have a guy on the inside, you pack the air on tightly to the door, you could really suck him around. And that's exactly what happened to the 24. He tried to get back to the throttle to keep up there, but ultimately just got sideways. And then when he tried to correct it, he bounced off the door and just ended up in the grass. And that's probably, like I said, going to more than likely kill the 24's night because he's going to have some heavy damage.
But no caution. No caution draw because of that. 37 laps on the board. Devin West, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Dennis Moore, Toby Ritter's top 5, Jordan Person, Brett Johnson, John Onnebacher, Brian Barnes, and now Sean Brightsman has just cracked into the top 10. We're at the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of station identification on CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and we are rocking and rolling as we approach 100 laps to go. So far, one yellow flag of the race so far. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the race summary presented by Virginia811.com. 40 laps into it, 100 laps to go.
Oh, we got a caution.
Only 2 cautions. That's been it, and there it is. It just triggered a moment ago, and I think it's when Kevin Smith got sideways off too.
Yeah, that might have been. We're going to have to figure out and see what happened here in just a second.
Is there a wreck anywhere else? I don't see one.
It might have been Chase Carrillo, I believe, in the 81, if it's not the 00.
Yeah. We'll see. 81 or 00, one of the verdicts. Remember, Chase Carrillo had problems earlier in the race. Yeah, we're not sure. We did see a moment there when we were showing the race summary where the caution information where it triggered from 1 to 2, and it showed Kevin Smith sideways. And Jason, we are seeing pit stops as well here in the race.
Yeah, and this is the prime time to come down to the pits this time here on lap number 43, because those tires have been eaten away pretty much. So these guys are going to put on their first set if they haven't put on their first already. And you see drivers like Ryan Bloom out and away, but Devin West will win the race off pit road over Bloom. You'll have DWJ, then Dennis Moore, and Toby Ritter is going to be your top 5.
Watching the 5 working his way off the racetrack. Devin West up in front. Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Dennis Moore, Toby Ritters right now your top 5. That's as it stands. Hey, speaking of the Northwest, coming up on finish line on Wednesday, we're going to have on Jeremy Anders from Wenatchee Valley Super Oval to promote and talk about the Wenatchee 200. That's one of those big races in the Northwest for super late models, and we'll preview that. In addition, Mark James from IndyCar Radio, IMS Radio Network to preview the Indy 500. Doug Rice, Performance Racing Network for NASCAR and the Coca-Cola 600. And I got a buddy of mine that's going to talk about the Monaco Grand Prix for Formula One. If you're a fan of racing, Jason, Memorial Day is always the most popular day for motorsports, waking up in the wee hours of the morning.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's listen, besides the day of the Daytona 500, Memorial Day weekend will always be probably my favorite weekend of the year, especially up here in Jersey. Besides all the beach-going Betties that we have that come from the north and come down to our Jersey Shore beaches that I hate because they cause so much dang beach traffic. Man, I tell you what, Wesley, it's a great day to be a race fan if you are obviously one, and if you haven't become one, well, you dang well sure be one, because it's going to be a fun weekend. Monaco Grand Prix, obviously in the morning for Formula One's 2024 season. That's always annually. Then you have lunch in Indy for the Indianapolis 500, the 108th one of the Indy 500, I believe it is this year. And then obviously we'll have NASCAR's longest race of the year, what used to be known as the World 600. Now is the Coca-Cola 600, as many know it to be. One of the crown jewels of, obviously, the NASCAR Cup Series in general. I mean, 3 great races, 3 historic races. One of my favorite days of the year, because I get to watch racing all day, and obviously we get to remember those who obviously served and gave their life so we could have our freedom to be able to call races like this and be able to enjoy sim, enjoy real racing, hang out with our family. So also don't forget about what Memorial Day is about here this weekend for sure.
Going to be a fun one for sure. Devin West, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr. as it stands right now. Well, we'll get ready to go back for a restart. Already gave you the top 5 with Ritters, and it's going to be Brett Johnson, Brian Barnes, Sean Breitzman, Peter Murphy Jr., Jordan Person also there at 6th. Forgot to mention him. As that is the way they go, it'll be lap number 45 when they come back for the restart in the Geico restart zone. And quickly approaching also, Jason, halfway in this race and about another 25 laps as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun one for sure here. Now the question is going to be is who's going to last the longest until they can obviously have the next cycle of green flag pit stops if we even get there. These restarts have been chaotic that we've seen so far here tonight. We're getting ready for our third start of the race right here.
Back to racing again as they work back into the corner on the restart. Dan West Jr. up in front. He is the man that leads it. Devin West, my apologies. Dan West Jr. trying to hold off this battle as Ritters goes around.
Save it, Toby, save it. Oh, big crash into 3.
They're wrecking, and they're still wrecking. Ryan Bloom and others collected in turn number 3 and 4, and this will cause another caution. I don't know, Jason.
It really all started when Toby Ritters got sideways into 3, and I tell you what, man, if it wasn't for Brian Barnes, he would have never saved that truck because Brian Barnes was a lifesaver for Toby Ritters, but he might have saved it. Who knows? Watch this. Going into the grass here, the 44 of Dennis Moore just didn't check up in time for the 3, and he saves it and gets some help from the 4. He goes around with a big crash. Chris Hines, others involved right behind him.
And everyone else behind them on back, if you're looking at the replay, they had no other choice, honestly, Jason, but to just get on the binders and hope that they didn't get collected in that skirmish that just happened over there.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers coming to pit road right here. You just saw Chris Kynes, others as well coming down into the pits. That was not an uncommon part of the racetrack to wreck. We've seen time and time again, lots of guys will get in there too hot, and they underestimate the corner, or drivers in front of them braking for their braking points, and then obviously you have something that leads like that. Surprised it didn't happen into turn 1, but obviously happened going into turn 3, which is a big heartbreaker for the 3, big heartbreaker for the 4, and also the 88 along with others.
By the way, remember to follow the new Community Radio Network on Facebook. We had to create a new account over the weekend. You can, of course, put in Community Radio Network in the top of the search box and give us a like and a follow. This is no longer called @CRN Sports. And, yeah, we'll try it again, and we'll get ready for a racetrack. Hey, who will be the king? Find out at Boo Hill Speedway in July. I know that's a couple of months away, but that'll be a big race, no doubt.
Hey, July's coming faster than you think probably here. We're already about to hit Memorial Day. We're halfway through this year.
Can't believe we're
nearly.
halfway through the year,
it's
man.
It's going to be 4th of July already, dude.
Yeah, no. Holy cow. Where the hell did time go? That's all I'm going to say.
And
flew by quickly, didn't it? Nonetheless, we'll get ready for the restart. While you're following Community Radio Network at LSRTV, also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Also, remember, we're also on Northwest Racing Series on Facebook. And Jason, what a turnout of driver attendance we've had this year for the series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was huge. I remember, I know I wasn't here for the duels, man, but when we started for the opener at Daytona, I think we had 43 trucks. And by the way, when it comes to NASCAR truck Craftsman Truck Series regulations, they don't run 43, 40 trucks. I think their max entries are still 36 like it's been for many, many years. And the fact that we were able to have 43 drivers turn out for that race was awesome, and it was a great finish. It was a great race. Lots of drama. So far this season, the Northwest, man, it is not disappointed by any means whatsoever.
So let's try to set up a restart for you. Devin West, obviously, still the man that leads the way, the defending series champion. Devin West, obviously, the driver that is the only driver with 2 wins on the year, along with Sean Brightsman. My apologies. Sean Brightsman also has 2 wins this year. But Devin West, defending series champion. Jason, he's got to climb his way out of the hole, man. Remember, he's right now 12th in the points, 75 back. He missed some races. He missed a couple of races, and because of that, he's trying to win as much as he can for the defending series champion. If you remember, he did some kind of scenario like this caliber last year to win the championship.
Let me just tell you right now, don't worry about it. Let him drive the truck. He's got it, I'm telling you. This kid is a wheelman when it comes to the sim. He's a wheelman in real life, on the track at his hometown. This kid can really drive, man, and sometimes he shows his dad the way here of DWJ. Don't keep this 5 out of any means necessary. He might be 12th in the points right now, or 14th, or actually, yeah, 12th by any means. Don't keep him out here. Devin West, actually 9th in the points. Dan West Jr. in 14th, but here we go. Green flag's back out.
Back underway. Oh, look at Bloom. Kind of door slammed at Dan West Jr. up the hill. Dennis Moore will follow on the bottom. Win Racing. Second and third. Dan West battles back up top. They're stride for stride going to 3. Dennis Moore, the man that won last year, started to climb to 3rd.
Yeah, and look now, but here comes that 18 machine as well of Peter Murphy. He nearly thought about going 3 wide into turn number 3, but didn't. And right there, Toby Ritters bounces off the wall, exiting turn number 4. Everybody really scrambling for position, and Peter Murphy throws it down in there, nearly ran into the back there of Jordan Person in the 20 machine, and everybody getting really loose, a little tight off turn 2 down the back. Oh, caution. Chase Carrillo around.
Caution out again. Wow.
For Gary Nichols.
23rd and 25th spot with a problem on the racetrack. That's the driver of Stephen Paulison, Gary Nichols. Let's see what happened. And Chase Carrillo was around this, Jason, as you mentioned. Yep, there it is.
58 got loose here, coming off turn number 2 here. We've seen a lot. Oh, a checkup. So the 58, I think, started to lose it when he checked up. The 8 machine had to check up, and then the 8 just started an accordion effect there coming off turn 2.
So that's what caused the caution. Do you pit? I don't see anybody pitting right now, Jason. I think it's just too early. Would you agree?
Absolutely, 101%, no doubt about it. You'll have a few takers who probably want to maybe come in and make some adjustments if they can to their trucks, and also maybe just fix a little bit of damage if they have some. I see Troy Daggett, Brian Barnes. Obviously, he was involved in one of those wrecks just a few laps ago. Stephen Paulison is in, and Gary Nichols, those two who were the creators of the caution we're currently under, so they're coming into the pits this time. But yeah, no, way too early to come into the pits this time. I'd say you probably have guys, probably, depending on how this race ends up, if we go green all the way to the next green flag cycle. I'd say probably like lap 60, maybe lap 60, 65. I'd say you'd have guys come into the pits because this is a shorter track than your usual mile and a half, maybe 55 laps, so probably maybe around, I'd say, or not lap 60, my bad. I meant to say 85, 80. Maybe 75, in between 75 and 85, I think, is when you're going to start to see guys maybe come to the pits.
So right now, Devin West in front, Ryan Bloom, and Dennis Moore for Win Racing was starting to actually start to make a climb, if you will, Jason, up to the lead, and then the caution came out. Dan West Jr. fell back to 4th. Jordan Person that last restart. We'll try this again. Still a long way to go, by the way. We're not even halfway yet.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. This track, it's a shorter track than a mile and a half. But at the end of the day, they're still going 33-second lap time, so they're still going pretty fast around this place. Laps can wind down pretty fast here, but they could also feel like some of the slowest laps of your life, just because you're not dealing with any banking here really. You're only dealing with 11 and 1 and 2 and 9 degrees in turns 3 and 4. So two totally separate parts of the racetrack. I'd say 3 and 4 is probably your fastest portion of the racetrack besides the end of the straightaways. So, you gotta be in line. I think track position is definitely going to be, factor here in this race. Something we really didn't talk about because it's so hard to pass here. So that's why I think these restarts, you're seeing a lot of guys get really, really aggressive, trying to make up as many spots as they can.
Well, we'll shuffle them out and get ready for a restart. 55 laps will be on the board this time by. Hey, by the way, don't forget there's a whole lot of great iRacing events going on LSRTV, beginning, of course, tonight. We had the All-Star race for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. Seemed like that would not end. Literally, we got off the air from that race and came on the air with this one. Tonight, obviously, Northwest here at Gateway. Wednesday, we are back with the B schedule opener for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Points Truck Series. That'll be at Charlotte as well. And then the championship for the Stars and Stripes Racing League will be decided at Las Vegas on Thursday night. That's all coming up this week. iRacing on LSRTV, Facebook, X, Instagram. Make sure you check it out. Should be a good one. A lot of great racing going on, Charles, for sure. Jason, we'll get ready for the restart. And yes, Charles will be in production, pushing the buttons, as always.
He don't speak much. He doesn't get a say in this thing. He's got to get a drink about 3 times since we started tonight, but I don't blame him, man.
Back to green. Closing in on halfway. And right now, Devin West holding off the likes of Ryan Bloom.
Qualifying guy. He knows how to lay down good laps when it comes to qualifying and on short runs. In my opinion, I call him the qualifying king. Ryan Bloom. He's grabbed so many poles throughout his Northwest career. We've already seen him grab the pole a lot this season, did it a lot last year. He's a really, really strong driver. In fact, he actually grabbed the pole here last year. So Ryan Bloom knows how to get around this place. He could contend with Devin West for this win tonight.
Stay in that spot. Work it off turn number 4. Back to the line. There you see Tidrick starting to climb into the top 5. Trying to make a run on person for that spot. Now got to get to Dan West Jr. That's about 6th, 7th, 8th on the racetrack as they work off 2. And Jason, there is a lot of cloud cover over this racetrack very quickly as well.
Yeah, and I think that could probably play dividends to why I also just said Ryan Bloom is a heater of a qualifying guy, because guess what? He just ran the fastest lap of the race last time around with a 33.204, fastest lap of the race again for Ryan Bloom. But this cloud cover is going to cool down this racetrack, not a ton, but it's going to cool down a little bit of a lockup, I believe, by the 72 there of BJ Tidrick, or maybe even Dan West Jr. ahead of them had to lay it off big time. Some tire smoke and lockup out of the right front and left front. But yeah, this track's going to cool off just a little bit. If this cloud cover is persistent, this is going to provide a lot of grip for some of these guys. Maybe this outside lane in 3 and 4 could work a little bit better than the bottom side has in 3 and 4 pretty much all night long with that partly cloudy, sunny weather.
Ryan Bloom still in the lead. As there you see Dan West Jr., he is right there behind his son, who has fell back to 4th and 5th, as now the Win Racing team has gone to the top spot. Bloom and Moore, 60 laps on the board, under 10 to go to halfway here in the Enjoy Illinois 175.
And you see right now Dan West Jr., he's kind of fallen back a little bit. I think the last 2 restarts, he's gotten really poor restarts. He is now all the way back to 5th, and Devin West now is in 4th. I wonder if something happened to him maybe that was the cause of the smoke that we saw in turns 1 and 2. Oh, big check up there out of the 56 of Chris White. Almost ran into the back of Roy Grande, had to get out of it. And here comes Frank Harris, man, just keeps on picking off spot after spot. He has made his way up into the top 15. Frank Harris doing a great job, an excellent run for the driver of the 77 so far tonight.
There, of course, is Roy Grande. He brought out a caution earlier in the race with a spin, but right now he just kind of holds his line, single file, down the racetrack with Bloom in the lead. Moore second, Murphy third. How about Murphy, Jason? I mean, where did this guy come from? And he's making his presence felt known quickly as well. Right there in the third spot, as we see Grande right now in 14th and 15th battling here with Harris.
Yeah, so either I just haven't called a race yet this season with Peter Murphy in it or what, but he's actually got 2 starts so far this season. And in one of those 2 starts, he actually ended up getting a top 5, top 10 combined. So already off to a great start in his Northwest career from what I've seen so far. Doing a great job, man. I said that he could be a threat to reckon with tonight as well. He's up to third, doing a great job. We saw him fall back earlier in the first portion of the race, in the first third. But right now, P3, and he's running some good lap times as well compared to everybody else. But he's trying to hold off the father and son duo of the West. Right back behind him, going on for third on back to fifth.
That's that driver in the 18 Toyota behind him. He's got those West family right there in tow. By the way, Kevin Smith, Jason. Kevin Smith right back into the top 10 again. Whatever problems the 00 had, he's now moved his way to that 6th spot. Right back in the fight as we're closing in on halfway here at Gateway.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job as well coming back up through this field. Despite having that issue, still curious as to why he came down pit road. Oh, this is going to get a little dicey here in the 3, and Kevin Smith really overshoots the corner, and Dan West Jr. with a heck of a crossover back down to the inside. He'll get around the 00, but actually they're going to be side by side here off turn 4. This could get ugly really quickly.
Hold on to that spot.
Ooh, that's close.
3 wide. Oh, a little 3 wide almost, just a little bit. Smith to the outside behind Murphy. The West family nowhere to go. Single file down. Devin West by himself on the inside alongside Dad, and Tindrick's piling in there as well.
Yeah, just what a great job, though, by a lot of these guys here tonight. A lot of times where I think, Wesley, we could have seen a caution come out here. And as I say that, man, they almost just had one right there into turns 1 and 2. Saw the 00 and the 18 nearly get into each other. Dan West Jr. as well almost did. They're doing a great job. Man, this 00 machine, he is flying right now in this Click It RV machine. Doing a great job. See Peter Murphy, he's battling with Dan West Jr. I believe there's a little bit of contact made there through 3 and 4. He'll tuck back in line now. Devin West, though, continuing to fall back. I believe, Wesley, when we saw that puff of smoke a few laps ago in the 1 and 2, I think the 5 almost went around, and I think he really screwed up the tires big time, because you don't see this out of this kid.
No, you really don't. You don't see him struggle like he is right now, obviously, with, of course, watching Bloom leading him, closing in on the halfway mark in another couple of laps. Ryan Bloom off the corner. There's Devin West again. Now he's got Person in front of him. That's going on for about 8th and 9th spot. Lowther is in the top 10. And we're closing in into turn number 1 and 2 on Ryan Bloom, and halfway for the leader next time by.
And Bloom's got about 1.25 seconds over Dennis Moore right now. It was only about 2 1,000ths of a second, the difference between lap times between Bloom and Moore last time around. But again, I said it, man. Ryan Bloom, he knows how to get around here. He had the pole last year. He has the fast lap of the race. Ryan Bloom could be looking to go to victory lane here tonight, but halfway through this race. He's got another half to go. Ryan Bloom, though, still leading over Dennis Moore. Last time around, Moore was faster than him by about 600ths of a second. And somebody who keeps moving up through this field, too, is BJ Tidrick in the 72 machine, up 21 spots from where he started. And right now, trying to look for another spot around Peter Murphy Jr., in which he does now to get inside the top 5.
So we're halfway, and we're ready for the second half of the Enjoy Illinois 175 iRacing on LSRTV and CRN. Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outlet, Charles Wooten alongside on production. Ryan Bloom is the leader, Dennis Moore second, Kevin Smith is third, Dan West Jr. fourth, BJ Tidrick top 5, Peter Murphy Jr. is sixth, Jordan Person is in eighth, Sean Brightsman is eighth now, correction. Devin West is ninth, and Dan Lowther has now got into the top 10. That's the way it stands. Is Jason, if you want to give a rundown to the top 20, brother.
Yeah, you got right there in 11th, Brett Johnson continue to have a solid night in that number 7 machine. Then you have Toby Ritters, despite having that little mishap in 3 moments ago. He's in 12th, and you have Ottenbacher, Roy Grande. Brian Karras still back there in 15th. Troy Daggett's in 16th. Troy Allison, Battle of the Troys in 16th and 17th. And then Brian Barnes, Chris White, Robert Gamble round out the top 20 so far.
21st. So we give a full field rundown. Let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be Gary Nichols. Chase Carrillo is 22nd. Stephen Paulus in 23rd. Ray Fournier is the last truck on the lead lap in 24th. Everyone else in the back a lap down or more or out, including Chris Kynes, James Vining, Jeff Stabnow, Carl Burke, Bryce Clark, Scott Hutchinson, and that's the 30 drivers on the racetrack behind the wall. And Stephen O'Hare, William Fletcher did not start. That full field rundown here at halfway, and working off of turn 4 comes the field to the line. There's Bloom. See from that awesome camera angle. Top 4, single file. Jason behind them. There is a big hornet's nest of traffic. The snake's patch, if you will, going into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, back to 1 and 2. You see the 18 of Peter Murphy still trying to look for a way around Sean Brightsman. He's now dropping positions again. And Devin West trying to get back up further inside this top 10. Currently 9th, but still just struggling in that 5 machine here as he sends it off into 3 on the outside.
Cross the line again. There you see him. Another lap on the board. Tell you what, Ryan Bloom and Dennis Moore, Jason, it took a little time to get up there, but when they did, man, they have been right there as the top elite before the halfway mark of this race is when it happened, and right now they're showing their strengths up in front.
Yeah, definitely showing their strengths up in front of this field. Ryan Bloom still having that lead over Dennis Moore by a little bit more than a second and a half, I'd say. Bloom still turning faster lap times than Moore. I think, though, coming up, you're going to see this round of green flag pit stops come up probably here within the next 10 to 12 laps or so here, because they last pit at lap 42. You could probably see them pit around lap 85, I'd even say maybe even 90, 95. I just don't know. I didn't really get a chance to get the fuel number here tonight, but just by the looks of it, with the 1.5 miles, or the 1.25 mile configuration of this racetrack, you're probably looking at about 50, maybe 55 laps, I'd say, on a fuel run or tire life run. So you'll see guys probably pit here pretty soon if we can get to that green flag cycle.
So right now, Ryan Bloom still continuing to stay in front and do what he needs to do to be in the top position. Moore, Smith. Remember what happened with Smith. And Jason, I just thought about this, bud. This is probably the first time this year that we've finally been able to see some type of dominance, if you will, by the Win Racing team. They've struggled.
Yeah, they've definitely struggled a lot. I mean, you look at this year so far, it's really, it's really been a battle between Team LSRTV, and Win Racing. But at the end of the day, it's really been LSRTV getting the wins over Win Racing. I mean, you see Kevin Smith, he's so fast. Dennis Moore is yet to win. Ryan Bloom yet to win. There was a lot of times of what could have been for these drivers. They just haven't got it done yet. I mean, the track record doesn't look so good for them here for the end of this race, but I mean, hey, Ryan Bloom got the pole here last year. Oh, BJ Tidrick, hard impact into the wall off turn 4, brushes it, but he's able to keep going while he recovers. Meanwhile, like I was mentioning, Dennis Moore won here last year. He knows how to get it done. Ryan Bloom was the pole sitter 1 year ago. He's got a fast lap of the race tonight. And Kevin Smith was the pole sitter here tonight. He went from being a lap down to all the way back to third now. So Win Racing 1, 2, 3 doing a great job so far.
Watching him work off the corner. There's a 20. Jordan Person. Idrick and Brightsman right there, door to door. Brightsman is the, besides the West family, he's the other Team LSRTV driver doing fairly well in that Toyota number 46 on the racetrack. Quiet race right now. Things kind of calmed down. Had a couple of cautions earlier when things started, but for right now, everything going okay. Fine as wine, they would say, Jason.
Fine as wine for sure. I'm sure that some of these guys after tonight, though, might want a glass of wine because of the way that some of the nights have gone for drivers, like Chris Kynes. Obviously, Jeff Stabnow, 2 big drivers who had some heartbreaks earlier on in this race. But, I mean, again, it's been a quiet race. Real quick, I want to see, Charles, we can get the Virginia811.com race summary here just to see. Because, like you mentioned, Wesley, it was, a little chaotic. Just a wee bit, as they say. But besides that, I mean, it's been a really calm, cool, collective race. I mean, you got a lot of hard racing. By any means, this has just been a quiet race, but a lot of action going on. You got guys who are coming, some guys who are going. You got that 18 of Peter Murphy Jr. really strong on the short runs, but I'm noticing he's just struggling on the long run portion. And BJ Tidrick really strong on these long runs. Devin West would love to see a caution right about now, probably, or at least get to that green flag cycle coming up. Because I'm pretty sure he slid the tires. You see Kevin Smith clearly has speed, so does Bloom and Moore. Jordan Person, talk about Person, man. We mentioned him before, too. He's in that 5th spot, doing a fantastic job. Oh, no, and as I say that, the 18 machine of Peter Murphy goes around but saves it off turn number 2. Great job by the 18 machine to save that truck.
And we stay under the green flag as Murphy will fall all the way back to 15th. Leaders, there they are. Back into the corner into 1 and 2. Working lap number 85 of 140. This racetrack is 1.25 miles, 1 1/4. 175 miles is the distance, 140 laps. And we got trouble. Troy Daggett's in trouble, the 99. He's in the bottom. He's at the bottom of the grass. I don't think this is going to trigger a caution. But Jason, what a hard hit for a driver of Troy Daggett that is in the top 5 in the point standings, and it looks like he's going to retire from the race.
That was not what you wanted to see if you were Troy Daggett. You were having a fantastic season to start, even up to this point. It's been a great season for Troy Daggett, a driver who's come a long way here in the Northwest Series, and unfortunately for him, that's probably going to be the end of his night. You saw the back end of the truck kind of lift up off the ground when he hit that inside wall. That's a concrete wall, no safer barrier there, but even then, it still would have been a hard impact, even if it was a safer barrier. Not really a difference between the soft wall and the concrete wall here on iRacing, so obviously that's going to probably end the night for the number 99 machine with that hit.
but no caution flag. Ryan Bloom up in front, the driver of the number 25. He is currently in the point standings in 12th. Out of 7 races, 3 poles, 1 top 5, and 1 top 10. Jason, it's been a bad year for Ryan Bloom. Man, he can turn it around here tonight with a big win here at this track that he knows well.
Yeah, and I think one race, Wesley, that really got away from him that he probably really wanted was obviously Texas. You know, him and I believe it was Kevin Smith that got into it actually coming out of turn 2 during a green flag run. They both wrecked, 2 of the fastest trucks all night, but that's what we talked about. Win Racing just not being able to close the deal so far, really, I believe in 2024. They've had fast trucks. They just can't close the deal. And tonight they're going to have to do that if they want to try to win. And meanwhile, as I say that, I think green flag pit stop starting to begin. Roy Grande looks like he's the first one to pit road.
Here comes the 11 coming onto pit lane. Here comes now Kevin Smith on pit road as well. And Jason, this is the first time we've seen green flag pit stops tonight in this race, in this sequence.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last pit stop they're going to have to make right here. They're going to be able to make it all the way to the end with these tires and this fuel. So unless the caution comes out, you won't see them pit again, more than likely. And Kevin Smith, first one of the really big hitters to actually come down pit road. He can easily leapfrog this field just a little bit. You think about Ryan Bloom, fastest lap of the race with a 33.204. His last lap, 34.934. So you're looking at over a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds worth of fall off. So Kevin Smith can definitely make up some ground being the first one. So if anybody wants to try and come down to pit road, especially out of these big guys inside the top 5 to top 10, they got to do it now.
So pit stops ongoing. Troy Allison on pit road now. Watching all this going on here. Green flag pit stops, and still have Ryan Bloom up in front. The Moore family. Dennis Moore, West. Pair person. Here comes now Dan Lowther onto the pit lane. So Lowther coming in. He'll give up his spot in the top 15. Work being done. And Jason, green flag pit stops can totally change the scenarios of this race as well.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Here comes DWJ. He's into the pits this time, man. That was a fast entry, but he gets down to pit road speed just in time. This is another one of those heavy hitters that's coming down to pit road here. One caution would definitely shake this race up, like I always say. It's happened. It could happen again.
So we're still seeing all this work ongoing. And there you see still the 25 Click It RV Bomb Speed Win Racing entry. Ryan Bloom in front. Here comes now the 20 person on pit road. Peeling off one at a time. And whoa, Tetrick spins entering onto pit lane in the 72, Jason.
Oh no, and he was having such a good run too. I was talking about how strong BJ was doing in that 72 machine. That's going to cost him a ton of time here, not only on pit road, but also on the track.
And no caution. Obviously, that wasn't going to throw a caution anyway because he spun onto the pit lane, obviously. We'll get back going again here. Boy, oh boy. Don't want to make these mistakes, Jason, no doubt, coming onto the pit road for sure. Even when you're making green flag pit stops, this can be even more disastrous, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. You obviously don't want to have something happen at this stage in the race, knowing that they're coming to 40 laps to go. Here comes your race leader, Ryan Bloom, into pit road this time. This is a big stop for this 25 machine.
Ryan Bloom, he will climb to 10th, 11th. Dennis Moore will now be the new leader as he enters back onto the racetrack. And Jason, you got to remember too, that pit exit, they got to stay on that return road all the way until they get to the commit cone. Obviously, the blend line is what I meant to say, where then they can then pull back up onto the racetrack like Ryan Bloom is in front of Dan West Jr. right now. Put Bloom in 11th.
Yeah, and here's the thing too about Gateway is that you have that access road on the inside of the grass in 3 and 4, so you have to take that as well. So this is a little bit more of a difficult pit road because you can gain a little bit of speed coming to pit road going through on that access road until you hit the pit road commitment line where the pit road straightens out, because that's where the pit road line is for the speeding. So you can make up some time getting in and out of pit road on those access lanes, whether it be entry lane or outro, or rather exit lane. So that could definitely help with some time. So a big thing here that we don't normally see when it comes to racetracks nowadays.
Green flag pit stops underway. Now, there you see Smith getting around Paulison. 7th and 8th spot on the racetrack going on right now. Gotta hold it together, Jason. Just kind of stay in line right now, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just been really a quiet race after those few cautions that we had. You see Chris White in, obviously Brett Johnson. And here's the thing, too, I want to mention. Chris White, we have not really talked about him at all much this season. He was there for the first few races, had some strong runs, and after that, he had some wrecks. And then after that, it's just been heartbreak after heartbreak. I think even on lap 1 at Texas, I remember he ended up wrecking right off the bat. And it was a heartbreaker for Chris White because he had a fast truck. It has just not been a good season for Chris White by any means necessary.
Green flag pit stops rolling on, and obviously this changes the entire complexion of this race as it moves in to the home stretch here. Under 40 laps to go. Dennis Moore, now the new leader. He has quietly, Jason, been up in contention with Ryan Bloom. Had that little scare almost when he spun around, almost spun around. I want to say that nicely because he did get sideways, dirt tracked it off for 2. But nonetheless, he's the man up in front. Brightsman second. And there's Paulison right now in the 6th position. And here comes Toby Ritters, Texas winner, on pit road now.
And he's into his box. It's been a really odd race for Toby. He was fast, then he wasn't, and then obviously had all right. Oh my gosh, Charles Wooten always messing with us, obviously over voice chat here. But Toby, of course he is. Toby Ritters, though, has had a very good season so far, man. I mean, he had that win at Texas, broke that nearly 2-race winless streak, and doing a good job so far this season. He's been really consistent in the points. Obviously, was hoping to have a good run tonight. Still can, but he's going to have to find a little bit of luck doing that stuff.
Ritters back out, and he will fall into the clutches of the 20 outside the top 15. 16th spot for the Ace High Racing number 3, the boss there. And how about that, Jason? He turned around and brought himself, after a week of winning at Texas, he literally had a race team put together of other teammates working with Toby Ritters.
Yeah, that's very true, you know. Oh, here's Devin West. He finally ends up coming to the pits this time in that 5 machine. I know he was definitely hurting to come to pit road this last time around, and you know, this kid, I'm just very surprised at what's happened to him tonight. He was really fast, really strong, leading the race, and then all of a sudden kind of just fell back big time after, I believe it. We're just going to assume it was him. That mishap in the 1. Here we go. Here comes Dennis Moore. This is a big pit stop for the 44 machine.
Breitzman, Moore on pit road. Money stop, obviously, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Four tires, fuel, Moore, Breitzman right there, almost with unison one another, but Moore pulled away first. Now Breitzman about 4 seconds back. That's a lot, Jason, especially coming off of pit lane.
Yeah, that's a lot, but obviously, Ryan Bloom, though, he's going to have the freshest tires of those guys. You know, he might be 4.25 seconds back, but he's got 6 lap fresher tires than Kevin Smith. And Bloom's running about 2, almost 3/10 of a second faster than Kevin Smith, so he might be able to get there. But this very well could play in favor of Kevin Smith. He might have pitted at just the right time. I mentioned how he can make up that time with about the 2-second difference, and sure enough, he did.
Pit stops ongoing. They're actually starting to come to a close. Kevin Smith, believe it or not, right back up in front again. Boy, how about that, Jason? What a difference. What, 60 laps makes? 70 laps, 80 laps? Because he was literally out of contention, and now he's right back up in the front again.
Yeah, it was
in the
definitely a big thing, obviously. And he's doing a great job, though, in that 00 machine. We talk about, obviously, how Win Racing has not really gotten to victory lane at all this year. And it's been heartbreak after heartbreak, fast car after fast car, just could not close the deal. It's been really, again, that battle between Win and LSR, and it's been LSR taking it pretty much every single time those two really clashed together. I mean, they took each other out at Texas, for gosh sakes, you know? I mean, they took each other out with a 25 and 00. You know, obviously then the 44 machine got into it with Sean Breitzman. You know, just it's been even in Atlanta, Ryan Bloom, I believe, ended up going around. Dennis Moore ended up going around, all single car accidents, and handed the win to Sean Breitzman that day. And Jeff Stab now running up in second place behind his teammate. So it's been a tough season so far.
Top 10 right now. It is Kevin Smith, as we mentioned, back up in front. Ryan Bloom second. That's Win Racing 1 and 2. Dan West Jr. third. Jordan Person right now the top 5 with Dennis Moore. Peter Murphy Jr. back up into the top 10 along with Stephen Paulison. Frank Harris, good run for him. John Ottebacher, as well as Brian Barnes, top 10. We're also approaching the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds for station identification on CRN, the Community Radio Network. We will also take our final commercial break for iRacing on LSRTV.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back. Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is in our ear, humming, singing. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. Good song. Good song, by the way. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so Peter Murphy Jr. inside battling with Brightsman. That's going on for the 6th spot. Jason, I don't know if you know that song. Maybe me and Charles Rudville and how old we are.
I don't know. All I know is that if Charles Wooten sings in my ear one more time, I'm not going to stop singing All My Exes Live in Texas, because he's about to become an ex after he sings in my ear one more time.
Oh, that's why I hang my hat in Carolina. Oh, wow. All right.
Nice.
Good times as always, for sure. Yes, sir. Definitely it is. And, yeah. We're having a good one. Hope you are as well. As ready to bring this one to the finish of the race. And Jason, again, all the... Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Are you talking to the world? Making us sound crazy. Tomorrow, the overlays are getting a complete overhaul, so you'll see new graphics on LSRTV Wednesday and Thursday. Same design, but all different colors. There you go, Charles. There you go, Jason. Now you're caught up. The more you know. Flash a little star.
Maybe we
across
get
the
that neon yellow color finally that he's been talking about.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. So we have been rocking and rolling. This race is coming to obviously the home stretch. And it is all Kevin Smith now up in front. Can you believe that, Jason? Had problems earlier, fought his way back, and look at where he's at right now.
I can believe it right now, but I might not believe it in these next 20 laps or so, because guess who's coming right now? Ryan Bloom. He's only back by 0.8 of a second. This race is not over, folks. We're going to have 20 laps to go this time by at the line, and Ryan Bloom is running down Kevin Smith, and we know how good Ryan Bloom was on the last late portion of the run before those green flag pit stops came in. Guess what? He just closed in another almost 0.2 going into 1 and 2. Ryan Bloom is a man on a mission right now. He wants to get win racing, that first win of the year, and he very well could do it with how fast that truck is here tonight.
No doubt putting himself in position to do just that with the laps winding down. Under 20 to go now. Smith in the lead. There you see Devin West. Devin West, I believe, is in 7th spot. Things are kind of comfortable here now. Kind of quiet.
Yeah, it for sure is. But again, like I mentioned, look at this battle for the lead coming up here. 0.4 of a second now the gap is from Ryan Bloom to Kevin Smith. That gap has cut in half from what was 0.8 now in just 3 laps. Ryan Bloom, I think, is going to get there, Wesley. I really do. I think he's going to be able to get around this 0-0 here. Look at how close he is.
Up there and making it happen. Gotta love it. With Smith in the front spot, there's Bloom. And there is a battle for win racing, Jason, for the win for 1st and 2nd on the racetrack right now, down the back straightaway.
This is going to be a nail-biter between these two, I think, here. Ryan Bloom, he's quick, but now we always say it, Wesley. It's one thing to catch a guy, it's another to pass him. Ryan Bloom's going to have to get around his teammate, and Kevin Smith is an aggressive driver. Remember, these two took each other out of Texas weeks and weeks ago. Now they're 1-2, battling for Win Racing's first win of the year. Ryan Bloom able to close that gap up really close because of Troy Ollison up on the top side. But Kevin able to get away just a little bit. He gets loose off the corner. This could open up the door for Bloom.
Plenty of room given. Smith still up in front. Bloom back on the bottom, trying to get back around him. He's looking to the inside. There's a little wiggle there for Smith. A little loose off of 4. Opens the door for Ryan Bloom and more. To the inside. 15 laps to go. When they come back to the line, and they're door to door off 2. Now Bloom back to the lead off 4. Off 2.
And Bloom goes to the lead, but here comes Kevin Smith right back down to the inside of the racetrack. He's got the door in there. He's going to have to send it on down here if he wants this lead. He's going to pull a slide job on his teammate, but here comes Bloom back to the inside.
Inside of the racetrack, another spot. Give it to him in the corner. And Smith will rally up top. Now back to the inside. Bloom door to door. It looks like Smith is better on the straightaway. Bloom is quicker off the corner. He diamonds off 2. He goes back to the lead as they work into 3. Bloom back in front.
Bloom's going to throw it down in there just like the 00 did. He'll pull a little bit of a slide job, but he's going to be able to clear the 00 now and pull away by a... Oh, and Kevin Smith loses a little bit of ground, gets really wicked loose off turn 4, and that might be the race right there.
Little slip and put the 25 to the number 1 spot. Closing in on 13 to go when they work off 3 and 4 this time by. Bloom is up to the P1 spot. And Jason, I don't think we have to worry about any type of green flag pit stops. But just, to decide the outcome of the race. This race is pretty much set and done right here.
Yeah, this race is set and done right here. 13 laps to go. You got what you got unless the late race yellow comes out. That's where there could be a little bit of a predicament. Do you pit? Do you not pit? I would say come to the pit road easily because of that 2-second difference on the older tires compared to newer tires. But you could have a plethora of drivers stay out if they choose to, if the yellow were to come out. Because track position just means so much, and with so little time, you just never know.
Kevin Smith approaching 200 career starts in the Northwest. Right now, tonight is start number 199 for him. Ryan Bloom, start 173 for him tonight. There you see Dennis Moore getting around Dan West Jr., 44 up to 3rd. Put that 44 back to that 3rd spot. Win Racing tonight. Race start 133, by the way, for Dennis Moore. But Jason, what I was going to say, Win Racing 1, 2, and 3 on the racetrack, man. Welcome back, Win Racing in a big way, showing their prowess, if you will, being strong.
Yeah, good run for them tonight, but hey, still 10.5 laps to go. Anything is possible. We've seen them take each other out. We've seen them wreck trying to go for wins. It's a big possibility. You see the 18 machine right there. Get up into the wall, just brush it, able to keep it off, though. Keeps it going in front of Brian Barnes in the 4 machine. And still, though, with 10 laps to go, anything can happen. But Win Racing, though, definitely showing up here tonight in Gateway for sure.
Ten laps to go, under 10 to go. Murphy outside, opens the door to Barnes on the bottom. This is for 9th and 10th on the racetrack. And Johnson trying to get into that battle. Everybody, for the most part, just kind of being patient, holding their line. That's all that you can do, Jason. Just stay right where you're at.
Yeah, just hold on. You just got 8.5 more laps to go, and then you're going to be done with this race. So if you feel comfortable where you're at right now, try to stay there. If you don't, well, either you're out of luck or you're going to have to try to work really hard or hope for a caution here. Ryan Bloom has definitely pulled away from Kevin Smith for sure. He's going to need a caution. Kevin Smith will, or he's going to have Ryan Bloom have some sort of issue, I think, if he's going to want to try to get any other chance at Ryan Bloom or at least this lead for the win.
Time running out. Does anybody got anything for Ryan Bloom? Ryan Bloom, even Jason, set sail a 1.5 seconds away from Smith.
Yeah, he's just doing a fantastic job. Just cruise around for another 6 more laps here, Ryan. You're going to get that first win of the season. I know he's been wanting it. It's not been the best season for the 25 machine so far. He's had a lot of fast trucks, a couple poles. Just hasn't been able to get it done yet. You just gotta hang on for 6 more laps and he'll get it done.
Approaching the home stretch of this event with Bloom up in the top spot, Smith second. He is losing ground now, 2 seconds almost back to the 25 for the 00. Dennis Moore, are they even in view? Smith is, not Moore. He's about 6 seconds back, 6.5 seconds to be exact. Open hand from your flagman. 5 laps to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We hit the home stretch.
And it's been such a great night to see the Win Racing boys back at it, doing what they do best and really showing up here tonight with this top 3. But again, still 5 laps to go. Anything can happen. Hopefully it doesn't for them. Still, though, some good battles all around. Talk about that 18 machine, how good he's done here tonight. Great run for Murphy. And that 18 gets a little wiggle there off turn number 2. Just hang on to it, buddy. A few more laps to go.
Stay right there in contention. Don't break away. Hold your spot. Hold your line. Bring this one to the finish. And it would be Ryan Bloom picking up his first win of the year. As I mentioned earlier, 3 poles for the number 25. 1 top 5, 1 top 10 this year for Bloom. That's all it's been. This is going to be monumental for the team for Win Racing, as they're 1, 2, and 3 also. We can find out what happened to Smith and his rally, Jason, to get back into the fight. Even though he's second there, you see the 25 working his way off of turn number 3 and 4 to the line. 2 to go, this time by a gateway.
And he just wants to see that white flag from Barney the Flagman here. 2 laps remaining. It's been a great night for Ryan Bloom. He's been so fast. I talked about it earlier in the race, Wesley, about how Ryan Bloom was so fast here 1 year ago. Had the pole. He's had poles this year. Had fast trucks. Said how he wasn't going to get the pole tonight, but he could be somebody to reckon with. And, I mean, he's done just that. Kevin Smith leapfrogged him in the pits. Coming to the pits 6 laps prior, but over time, Ryan Bloom was just so fast on the long run. And obviously pitted 6 laps later, and it really paid off here in the end for him. 1 lap to go this time.
The CRN 1 to go. Final lap at wearecrn.com for more details. By the way, the new Facebook Community Radio Network as well. Hit us a like and a follow and hear the races all year long for the Northwest as Ryan Bloom hits the back straightaway for his final time here at Gateway at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Took advantage of a gander on green flag pit stops, got around the boss, held off the boss, and now it is Ryan Bloom putting Win Racing back in victory lane. Their first win of the year at season 11. Ryan Bloom takes the Enjoy Illinois 175 over boss of Win Racing, Kevin Smith. Dennis Moore, who won this race last year, will have to settle for third. And of course, Dan West Jr., Jordan Person, Jason, a solid top 5 for the driver of that number 20 machine also as the checkered falls here in virtual Illinois.
I think there was a lot of guys that needed good runs here tonight, but there's no guy who's probably happier than this man right here. Look at him getting that 3-wide salute from his buddies and teammates, Dennis Moore and Kevin Smith, and there's no better feeling than to beat the guy who won here last year, your teammate. And obviously, there's no better feeling ever in the world than when you beat your boss at something and show that you could be better than him. And that's what paid off today. Tire management, pitting a little later than he did. That's what won him the race. Ryan Bloom finally getting to victory lane. I think it was a long time coming this season.
Let the celebration begin for the driver there of the number 25. And yes, he's will burn it down first. Here.
Oh, there you go.
All of Win Racing. All of Win Racing says I'm joining the party.
Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh my God, I think we just lost Ryan Bloom.
Oh, wow. Holy
oh my
cow,
gosh,
look at Dan West Jr. Oh my God. Dan West Jr. just tumbled side over side.
I can't believe that. Wow. Oh.
I guess it's a good thing that we see more flips here in the Northwest Salute High Five than we do all year.
That's right.
He's still burning it down.
Let the celebration begin. Boy, oh boy. And there it is. Ryan Bloom will pick up the win over Kevin Smith, Win Racing, Dennis Moore, top 3. Dan West Jr., Jordan Person, top 5 when it's all said and done. Sean Breitzman, Devin West, Toby Ritters, Peter Murphy, another solid top 10 finish in only his 3rd start in the Northwest. And Brian Barnes, Jason, top 10.
Top 20, you'll find Brett Johnson, solid run for the driver of the 7 tonight. Frank Harris coming home P12, another great run for the legend. Then John Ottenbacher, Roy Grande, despite a spin earlier, he comes home 14th. And Lowther, Ollison, Chris White, Robert Gamble, Stephen Paulson, Gary Nichols rounds out your field. Those are drivers more than a lap down.
Rest of the rundown, including Ray Fournier, Chase Carrillo. Also, it's going to be the driver of Chris Kynes, 23rd. BJ Tidrick, 24th. Troy Daggett, top 25, multiple laps down, all the way to the end, including James Vining, Carl Burke. Stabbed out. Bad night for him. Bryce Clark, Scott Hutchinson, and 2 drivers did not start the race. That includes Stephen O'Hare and William Fletcher. Jason, I guess I'll let you go, buddy. Before I do, your take to tonight's race, man. Enjoy Memorial Day off next Monday, and obviously we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, man, it'll be absolutely really, really fun. And, obviously happy Memorial Day to those who celebrate, thank our troops, and those who have sacrificed their lives for ours and whatnot. So, really awesome. I hope you all have a great holiday weekend. Stay safe, have a fun time, enjoy your time with your families and loved ones and friends. But overall, though, great race tonight. Cool, calm, collected besides the first little quarter of the race. And Ryan Bloom, man, like I mentioned, finally Tommy Bad did it, and he did the dang thing tonight. Good job to him.
He surely did, definitely. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, we'll grab the top 3. He's Jason Rockefeller. I'm Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten on production, and we will grab Win Racing 1, 2, 3 tonight in the Enjoy Illinois 175. Ryan Bloom gets it done at Gateway. First win. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to iRacing on LSRTV CRN. And Ryan Bloom joins us in Victory Lane. He is now another winner with the Northwest Series. And I mentioned 3 poles, 1 top 5, 1 top 10. Ryan, this has got to be ecstatic for you, man, to get back to Victory Lane. Welcome back to Win Racing in Victory Lane also.
Yeah, thanks, Wesley. Yeah, it's been a while. So just happy to have everything kind of come together this race. And all 3 of us do well, and it's been a long time coming, but I knew the finishes would start coming, so I'm pretty happy about the results tonight.
Ryan, how competitive has this season been and of years of late?
I mean, it's definitely been more competitive. I don't know, for whatever reason it seemed to be just not getting the finishes, and a lot of that's due to incidents towards the end of races, weather accidents, and I don't know. It's just hard. Texas, prime example. Texas and Kansas. I lead in the race at Texas, 80 plus laps, and I get taken out one of the restarts there. I think up 85, and my race is over. And then Kansas, I was leading most of the laps beginning of that one, and almost got taken out, but my truck was never the same after that. So it's it's been a struggle this year on getting finishes, but our team definitely has the speed, and we're bringing fast setups and doing what we do. I mean, we're still leading the laps, and it's just now to get the finish is nice.
Man, let's thank your sponsors, but what does it mean to you to finally get Win Racing back in Victory Lane, and obviously yourself get a first win of the year?
Oh, it's good. I think like I said, we've had the speed. We've brought fast setups. We're fast every week. It's just nice to not have things kind of out of our control happen, and just kind of do what we're capable of. Top 3s, I think, almost every race. So it's good to finally get one, and I think things probably even out a little bit towards the last half of the season. You'll see us up here a lot more.
All right, bud. Before I let you go, thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I just want to thank Click It RV and you guys, LSRTV, for putting on the broadcast, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
There you go. Ryan Bloom is back in Victory Lane. He gets it done. Kevin Smith will grab him now, the man that finishes in second from Walla Walla, Washington. Kevin, you're a fast time. Had some problems about the quarter part of the race. What happened? And obviously the rally to get back was worth it. You're sitting in second spot.
Yeah, Wesley, I mean, just jumped to start, got black flagged, and fell about 20 seconds back. 30th place, and just really had to fight my way back through the field there. So that was a lot of fun. Haven't driven that hard in a while, and it was just good to get these 3 trucks on the podium.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, when it's all said and done, you do finish in the number 2 spot. As the boss behind Win Racing, what can you say about the team, how things have gone this year? And obviously it's got to be great to get back to Victory Lane and have a solid podium 1, 2, 3 for your team as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just, a little bit what Ryan said. We've had some bad luck. I've caused a little of my own, just making mistakes like tonight, but there's been a lot of unfortunate stuff. We've had, I think Dennis has been taken out, 2, 3, 4 times this year. Ryan's had his share. I've had my share. Just, target. I mean, we've been lined up 1, 2, 3 in several races this year. We've led a ton of laps. It's just a funky season. You got guys who lead 1 lap and win a race, and guys who lead 100 laps are getting taken out and not being able to finish. So it's good finally to get some green flag racing tonight, so we can kind of show what we're made of, and we do the same thing every week. We prep, we prepare, we bring fast trucks, and they thought this, the series thought they'd take the fast repair away and clean it up, and it really hasn't done that. So it's just taking good trucks and not allowed them to finish the race. So anyways, it's all good. We're moving on, and it's just good to get a little momentum.
All right, buddy, before I let you go, thank your sponsors, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, obviously, because we're off for Memorial Day.
Yeah, just Click It RV. Just an amazing employer, an amazing sponsor, and if anyone's in the market for RV, travel trailer, that sort of thing, we can certainly help you out. You guys do a heck of a job on this broadcast. Always a lot of fun to go back and look at these things and just reminisce about this racing. So you guys also have a good week. Happy Memorial Day.
There you go. There's the thoughts of Mr. Kevin Smith. He will finish in the number 2 position when this race concludes here tonight at Worldwide Technology. Let's go now and catch Dennis Moore. Dennis, you won this race last year, had some problems earlier, battled back, rallied. You'll settle for 3rd. Obviously, a podium finish. It was a good race, though, man. Your take of tonight's event here. Track you know really, really well.
Yeah, I thought it was a good night. We had a really fast setup here tonight. Yeah, like Kevin and Ryan said, just a lot of bad luck this season. This race tonight went green a lot longer than I thought it would. I mean, it's been eye pacing all year, more cautions than we had last year, and it's just frustrating because we can't show our long run speed. But tonight was good, a lot of fun. Good to get all 3 wind racing trucks up on the podium.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, when does it come to a point where you're racing and you're racing amongst yourself, but then you're racing with your teammates, and then you want to try to have a good finish? Kevin wants a good finish. Ryan wants a good finish. Obviously, you want to win. You all want to win, but obviously you're also thinking about the team too.
Yeah, I think I finished right where I should have. I was probably the 3rd fastest out of all 3 of us. So I had no problem just riding there. I had probably 30, 40 lap pressure tires, but I still wasn't catching them. I mean, those guys are just insanely fast here. I think last year I won on a tire strategy. I probably had 30 lap newer tires, and that's how I stole that one. I wasn't going to steal one tonight.
Well, Bud, before we let you go, thank your sponsors, man. Thanks, and good job on the top 3 finish.
Yeah, I just want to thank the guys at Win Racing, Kevin, Ryan, all the guys of the Northwest Racing Series, especially Jeff and Sean, and then you guys with LSRTV. You guys have a good night and have a good weekend.
There you go, Win Racing. Of course, there's the thoughts of Dennis Moore. His truck will finish in the number 3 spot. Kevin Smith, the runner-up, and the winner, Ryan Bloom. And the points have also updated as we move into Memorial Day. Sean Brightsman is the new points leader. No, correction. There is a tie. There is a tie for the championship points between Sean Brightsman and Toby Ritters. Right now, 9 points back as Brian Barnes in 3rd. 19 back is Ryan Gormley, who had the points lead. He'll fall back to 4th. Troy Daggett will now move into the top 5, and that is the way that they will finish him up here, along with also Devin West, Jeff Stabnow, Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Tyler King, the top 10. We're off next Monday for Memorial Day. We come back into the month of June. The John's Gone Bowling 200 from Michigan. 200 miles, 100 laps from Michigan's Irish Hills of the virtual iRacing world. For everybody at Rocket Media, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wick, for Jason Rockefeller, this is Wesley Outland congratulating Ryan Bloom, winner tonight in the Enjoy Illinois 175 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. God bless you. God bless our troops. Keep on praying for America and enjoy the Memorial Day with your family and loved ones. But think about those fallen soldiers that keep us to have freedom, like enjoying iRacing.